What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Willie Smith, aka Willie Nillie Knits. I'm here to talk to you about gauge. Now, gauge literally scares a lot of people. I don't know why. I actually do know why. It's because it's just unknown and it seems like a lot of work. But gauge can give you very vital information about what you're knitting, how you're knitting, and especially how you want to make it yours. All right, so we're going to take our time and dispel a good amount of gauge and talking about gauge just by looking at a couple of samples. All right, and just to start to understand what gauge is and what it can do for you. All right, let's dive a little deeper. The first thing that we're going to talk about is big needles. Big needles have a giant diameter in front of them, right? Look how huge these are. These are going to create a lot of space in between your stitches. So if you look at this cashmere hat that I have here, look how massive those knit stitches are in this ribbing. Massive, right? There's no way we can use this kind of yarn and use a tiny needle on it because it will be super duper tight. Look how big that is. Okay? So the first thing that we want to make sure we talk about, bigger needles equals more space in between the needles, which is going to give us a larger gauge, okay? That's gonna be less stitches per inch. Oops. There's an inch. We got about 1.5 stitches per inch, okay? That is big needles, big gauge. And now here we have smaller needles for less space. So if you can look at these needles here that I made this hat with, much smaller, which means the stitches are gonna have less space and they're gonna be closer together. All right, let's have a look at this hat. Look how close those stitches are, right? And just like we had said before, certain amount of stitches per unit measure. So if I look at an inch, we're looking at about 1, 2, 3, 4.5 stitches per inch. Okay. Much more stitches in the same space rather than 1.5. Gives you a different type of fabric. You want to have a look at the other one here. Big needles, more space in between the needles. Smaller needle, less space in between the needles. You can fit more stitches in a space with smaller needles. Way less stitches in the same space with a giant needle. Huge difference. All right? And that's gauge. Just a start. And that's something that we can really sink our teeth into to start ourselves off. There's a lot more that goes into gauge. There's a lot more that goes into knitting. But it's just the part of the way on our long journey in this craft. So have a good time and mind your needles.